Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the state tournament final for varsity tennis here. I'm Austin Levin. With me is Edison Palumbi, and Edison, we got a great one for the VISAA state tournament final versus the St. Christopher Saints and the Trinity Titans.
Yeah, we definitely do. These are two incredible tennis teams, and all year they've been easily the two best in the state. And it's something interesting to watch, a lineup change for the Saints. They've been going, generally throughout this whole season, they've been going Bo Barber at the 4, Blake Caldwell at the 5, but they're switched up today with Barber at the 5 and Caldwell at the 4, so that might be something to watch.
And what that'll mean, folks, is Bo Barber will be playing, he'll be, I believe, playing Morgan Hewitt, correction, Bo Barber should be playing Sam Nediff, and Blake Caldwell will be playing Morgan Hewitt, I believe. Other way around, thank you.
Our coach misread the thing.
All right, so thank you, yeah. Bo Barber will be playing Morgan Hewitt, and Sam Nediff will be playing Blake Caldwell at the 4 spot. Other lineup adjustments, the Titans here for the first time all year, we're going to be seeing Brendan Ingle versus Damian Sincillio. That's going to be a great one.
Yeah.
The Titans tried to play Gus against Brendan, lineup adjustment, and Burke Sincillio, but that has been in Ingle's favor in both their matchups this year, so they are going to finally make that adjustment, and for the first time all year, Brendan Ingle will face Damian Sincillio.
Yeah, that's going to be the switch between Ingle and Burke's matchups is going to be something very interesting to watch. Obviously it's a change that we haven't seen all year, so.
And it could be big for the Titans. Damian Sincillio, a very, very talented tennis player. Brendan Ingle winning both his matchups with Gus Mitchell this year, who is, and again, another phenomenal tennis player. Sterling Burke will play Mitchell, and Ingle will play Sincillio, and we'll see how that works out. Ingle was supposed to play Sincillio in preps, did not make it there, got upset, I believe in the semifinal round, and did not get to meet Sincillio in the final. Sincillio ended up winning preps individually for the 2 position. Evan Fisher, Roman Sincillio, though, is what we're going to be covering today. The Battle of the Ones, 2 incredible tennis players. They played 3 matches so far this year. Sincillio's won 2. Evan Fisher has won 1, handing Roman Sincillio his first loss in varsity tennis.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great matchup, and I think that the tone of the entirety of the matchup will be factored around this Evan versus Roman matchup, as obviously both teams looking at their one as the guy who's going to get them going and hopefully get them a game, and either one of them winning would be a big momentum swing for either side.
However, what I will say to that is the other big momentum one is going to be Damian and Brendan. Those are the two. The 1 and 2 here are critical, particularly that 2 match, because that's the adjustment that's been made. And the Saints in their first matchup with the Titans won in a dogfight. It was barely squeaked out the win. And we'll see what this lineup adjustment does to that.
Yeah,
definitely. It is definitely a different matchup for Brendan, and I think a more difficult matchup considering how comfortable Brendan is when he plays against Gus. And Damian Sincillio is a much different opponent. He's got length that I don't think Gus Mitchell has, and that's something that'll make Brendan Ingle have to work a little bit.
Yeah, the 1 and the 2 matchups are probably going to be where this is decided, as if one side goes 2-0 in those matchups, that sets them up with a huge advantage.
And the thing, of course, is the Saints, where they have been successful against the Titans, like consistently, is in the back half of that lineup, the 4, 5, and the 6 matchup. So that'll be where, if you look right for the Saints to take 3 of those, right, and be in position where you already got 3 and you just need 5. So just get in good position for doubles, right? In the end, as long as you hold on to that back half, that's another critical thing. But that means you got to go 3 for 3 in the back half. That's what you're supposed to do. And you got to take care of business on that front.
Yeah, the Saints really need to win the back half, and I think at minimum they need 2 out of 3 from there.
At bare minimum,
yeah.
That is something that is going to be critical. And if not, that's where that 1, 2, and 3 matchups, that's where those are going to become really critical if they don't.
If one of the back half loses, then that puts a lot more pressure on Fisher or Ingle or Burke to beat a very tough opponent.
Yeah, they all have their hands full with three incredible players for the Titans, and now that lineup's adjusted, what was right. Ingle has been very successful in his matchups against Mitchell, and Mitchell's made them work. They've had some epic back and forths, and Mitchell has, I believe, won a few of them. But in the end, Ingle has been the victor in those matchups
Yeah.
for more often than not. And what that does here in preps is by making it Ingle Sincillio, you kind of have a different feeling. You're going to get a different game. And Sincillio, Damien Sincillio is a very, I think, more difficult matchup for Ingle the way he plays the game of tennis. His length is going to be a problem. He's got a very long wingspan. He's a lengthy tennis player. Ingle not quite on the tall side. He's a great finesse tennis player and got a lot of power too, but Sincillio can match that. So it'll be interesting to see how Ingle fares in that one. And for the key to that one is you got to lock in and play. It's going to be you got to cut out no careless errors for the Saints. That's going to be big. We've seen it from Fisher in the last few where you see getting in the head. Cannot do that today.
Yeah.
This is a different animal in the Trinity Titans, and they are gonna. It's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah. The way I see this is, this game is going to be decided by the back three for the Saints, because if they can sweep, that puts all the pressure on Trinity's top three to win, because if you go into doubles down 4-2, then that's an entirely different thing than it being 3-3 or even having a 4-2 lead. So if the Saints back half can take care of business, then all the pressure switches onto Trinity, because then the Saints would just need 2 out of their top 3 to win, and then it's over before doubles. So that's going to be something to watch here, as the Saints back half generally has been incredible for them this year, and they're definitely favored in the majority of those matchups against Trinity. So it'll be interesting to watch.
And then, of course, the matchup we're covering today, Evan Fisher, Roman Sincillio. The keys there, right, it's going to be Evan Fisher operates his best in rhythm, right? Roman Sincillio is such a good tennis player that Evan's going to get those chances in rhythm. He's not going to the thing about Sincillio makes him so great is he makes so little mistakes.
Yeah.
It's watching almost flawless tennis. He doesn't make mishaps. He plays a very clean game of tennis. Well, that'll mean that Evan Fisher will always be involved here, and that bodes well for him. However, what that means is he can't make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I mean the little stuff, right? You're going to give up points here and there. Sincillio's a great player, but you can't. No double faults, no shots that you're supposed to return that don't go in. You got to take care of business. And Sincillio's going to get some by you. That happens. He's a great tennis player, but right, you got to stay in your head. And you got to keep composure. And Evan Fisher does that. We've seen how he can play when he's focused. And Sincillio, the last time they played in preps was on a warpath. Evan Fisher said he was the best game of tennis he's seen from Sincillio in their matchups. He's a very talented tennis player when he locks in. But I think Evan selling himself problems for Roman Sincillio.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting matchup between them, and can't wait to
And welcome back to our pregame here. I'm Austin Levin, Edison Palumbi, VISAA Tournament Championship for varsity tennis. And we already broke down the matchup we have ahead of us. And we're about to get underway here shortly. Any other notes before we head into this matchup, Edison?
No, not really.
All right, well, we're going to get underway here soon, folks, and we'll see you shortly. Welcome back, folks. Sorry for a little bit of technical difficulties here as we're about to get underway. Had some overheating issues. It's a really bright one here. Beautiful day for tennis. Hang on, sorry, we're having some camera issues here. All right, folks, there we go. And that will take care. It's a beautiful day for tennis, but it is a hot one. Beautiful day for tennis, folks, but it's gonna be a hot one here. Addison, what are your thoughts again heading into this one as we near the approach here? How do you think? Right, Roman Sincillio, such a talented tennis player here, and what do you want to see from Roman if you're the Titans?
So like we talked about in the pregame, the Saints definitely have the advantage in the bottom three matchups, which puts a lot of pressure on Trinity's top three, as if the Saints take 2 out of 3 or even sweep the bottom three, if the top three can't take care of business, this could be over before doubles. So definitely, if you're Trinity, you want Sincillio to take care of business, and he's won 2 out of 3 matchups for Evan Fisher this year, and he is going to have to set the tone for them, as they're going to need a big performance from him.
The fact that I think Roman struggled in the loss that Trinity had when they came to St. Chris, I think just kind of demoralizing to the rest of the team, considering how big of a gap it was, that performance compared to the one on the road. Having that Sincillio win almost just like it is a guarantee, it feels like, for the Titans, and not seeing that just kind of throws everyone off their loop, right? You can look over, you can see what everyone else is doing every once in a while, and you can see, holy cow, Roman Sincillio is about to lose.
Yeah,
that's kind of he's our guy. It throws your team for a wrench.
Yeah,
a little
definitely.
bit.
So they need Roman to win, not just for the points, but also just for like a moral victory. As if Evan can beat Roman, that would be a huge, not only just an upset, but it would be a huge moral victory for the Saints too.
And another one there with that type of moral victory would be Damian Brendan. I think that whoever wins that one is going to feel boosted and energy-wise.
Yeah.
This is that is highly anticipated. I think Damian, if you're going to do like favorites, would probably be the slight favorite in that matchup, just considering on how he matches up with Brendan.
Yeah. He definitely matches up really well with Brendan.
But at the same time, right, if Ingle is more than capable of taking that matchup,
yeah,
and if he does, that would be another big tone setter for the Saints heading into, because I'd be shocked if this one does not get to doubles.
Yeah. I think if one team can sweep the Fisher, Sincillio, and then Ingle Sincillio matchups, I think that team could end it before doubles.
Well, that would have to be, I think, the Saints, because the Titans would have to take care of the back half of the lineup.
That's true. But
if the Saints, however, take that matchup,
yeah,
then
if the Saints can take both, it's probably over before doubles.
I mean, the other one, of course, is Damian Sterling Burke. Sterling Burke, Gus Mitchell, which would be another big one, and where Sterling Burke is, I'd say, probably a heavy underdog here, considering just how talented Gus Mitchell is, a college tennis player. And this will be a real test for Sterling Burke, because I don't think he's seen competition like this all year.
Yeah.
Damian Sincillio, has been his greatest test this year. He unfortunately lost that one, but Gus is an opponent where I think he has a better chance matchup-wise, and it should be how he performs in this one will be an indicator for next year for the Saints.
Yeah. Sterling's definitely going to have to take on a bigger role next year, moving into that top two with the graduation of Brendan Ingle.
And Evan Fisher.
Yeah, and Evan Fisher. So likely he's their one next year.
It would be more than likely, unless, of course, I believe we have a foreign exchange student next year coming here.
Yeah.
From Lithuania.
Yeah. I have heard about this Lithuanian foreign exchange student who's apparently incredible at tennis. So,
yeah, so he could be single-handedly rearranging that Saints lineup next year.
But Burke definitely, I would be shocked if Sterling isn't in the top two next year. So he's going to have to play these high-importance matchups in some big matches for them, and this is his first test in a really massive matchup.
And as we head into this one, Roman Sincillio is in the blue hat. Evan Fisher, hatless. Also, smart move by Sincillio in such a sunny day to have a hat on.
Definitely.
Got to admire that. I think it's a perfect day to have a hat on.
Although courts really aren't facing the sun.
No, but hats never did any harm in tennis.
Yeah.
Maybe slow you down like half a millisecond, but. And we'll be on our way shortly, folks. We'll be back with the start of this matchup. And as we near this one, just want to go over the lineup change again, real briefly. Should not have much of a impact on this one, but it'll be Bo Barber will now be playing the 5 today, and Blake Caldwell will be playing the 4.
Yeah.
That'll mean Caldwell will be facing. That means correction. Sorry, Caldwell will be facing. Let me see here, folks. Caldwell will be facing Sam Nediff, and Barber will be playing Morgan Hewitt instead of what normally would be the other way around.
Yeah. So, interesting decision there to switch it around.
But I think that in the end, right, it
shouldn't matter.
Have not minimal impact. This is not the game. While the back half is incredibly important, I think that as long as the Saints take two of the 3, Edison, you're right. In the end,
bare minimum, you can't.
Yeah, that's
if the Saints can't take 2 out of 3, they will not. If the Saints lose more than one of the 3 back half matchups, they don't have a chance to win this.
And if anything, if that does anything, all it simply means is a little bit more pressure on the guys up on the top of the lineup to take care of business if that were to have an effect. And I still don't. I'm skeptical that it would.
Yeah, maybe 3 out of 3 would put a little bit of pressure on Trinity because that would mean they would need to win at least 2 of their 3 in the top 3 to have a shot at. Well, obviously they would need to win 2 out of 3 because if they lost 2 out of 3, then they'd be done. But
and keep in mind here, folks, it's first to 5, and if it ends in 5 before doubles, or I think in all likelihood before they'll probably, because it's the finals, they'll probably play out all the singles matches. But right,
yeah, theoretically one team could win all 5 and then it'd be over.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you mean 5 of 6, 5 of 6, you mean?
No, well in the
singles there's 6 singles.
Well, no, but on Thursday we saw that they just called off Evan Fisher's match because the Saints were already up 5-0, but I don't think they would do that
in the States final. There's nothing else to play for, just pride at that point. And I think you got to let them. There's no injury risk, I think, when you got a whole season of rest and recovery ahead of you. there are very few injuries that'll injure you for an entire year. There
Yeah.
are definitely some, don't get me wrong, and they do exist, but I think in a tennis match, those are highly unlikely. As we are about to get underway, folks, Sincillio Fisher, as we're about to get underway, Evan Fisher will serve. And that's the careless mistake you can't have. 15 love, Sincillio.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about in the pregame with how against a player as good as Sincillio, you can't be missing shots that you should easily be able to return.
That should have been 15 love. He had position. That was a beautiful. And 15-15. Yeah, it should be 30-15 though. Fisher had that spot.
Or
If that
30
gets
love.
Yeah, it should have been. Sorry, 30. I think that went out of bounds, I believe.
No, yeah. No, you were saying it should have been
30 love.
Yeah, it should be 30 love
Should have been
for
30
Fisher if
love,
he had
but
just hit
Fisher
that shot.
missed, had a corner right there, and he missed it. Fault right there. And 30-15. Big swing from Fisher. Was going for the going for a big time blow right there, and he got a little greedy. And just like that, it's 30-15. Sorry, correction. It is 40-15, I believe. No,
30-15.
30-15. 30-15.
Yeah.
Sincillio.
Roman going to that towel after every point.
Fault from Fisher. Serve. Little struggles here. Nothing too major to worry about.
As long as he gets this one in,
Yeah.
it's no harm.
Oh, great serve from Fisher.
Sincillio blasts that one into the crowd.
That took a really difficult bounce.
Yeah.
And gotta love that. And we're matched at 30 here in game one.
Yeah, other than that one mistake on the first rally of the game, Evans looked great.
But every mistake counts there, and
Yeah.
that could, if the
I mean,
game
that's
one
the
goes
difference between it
Sincillio.
being 40-15 and 30-30.
Fault from Fisher. And there is no way. Sincillio with an incredible shot. We are at 40-13. Fisher thought he had the point, had Sincillio completely out of position with a spike, and he somehow returns it.
Yeah, that was incredible.
And that's the type of plays you expect from Roman Sincillio. 40-30. And game one goes to Roman Sincillio.
Yeah.
Evan Fisher had his opportunities there, and Sincillio really won it with that play beforehand, in which he returned a spike, and that is a type of that's a Division I college tennis play right there.
Yeah, that was an incredible shot. I didn't even think he had a chance of getting his racket on it. But he not only got his racket on it, he somehow kept it in. So an incredible shot from him.
And he put it over Fisher too,
Yeah.
right where it had to be. There was no.
Yeah, Evan had no chance at that.
That was incredible effort too, which you gotta love. Right, to see that type of dedication and effort out of a tennis player, you gotta respect that. But Fisher had his opportunities there.
Yeah.
He had that one in the beginning of the game that would have set the pace to start, and he missed the opportunity. We'll see how he bounces back in game two. Key thing for Fisher is gonna be mental toughness today, and we'll see how he responds.
Yeah, even though he did lose that game, definitely some encouraging signs.
No, he had his opportunities there.
Yeah.
He definitely did. Sincillio is certainly human, and he did have his opportunities. And 15 love, Sincillio. Just barely out there. Good return from Fisher. Well served, though.
Yeah, really nice serve from Sincillio.
Fault. Barely, but. Man, I thought that's a double fault from
Yeah.
Sincillio. Rare
Not
occurrence.
something you would expect to see from him, but
It's like once in a blue moon, you know. It's same odds being struck by lightning.
yeah, those are the mistakes that really can't be happening, as things like double faults are what can cost you a game with two players as talented as Sincillio and Fisher.
Absolutely, as it's 15-15. Fisher, you know, that's got to be a good confidence boost, right?
Yeah.
And there's an ace from Sincillio.
Yeah, incredible serve from him.
Barely got that in right. It's like instead of going to that corner, he went to the inside right there and put it. Incredibly difficult spot, 15-30. And 40-15. Great. Sincillio going to work early. I feel like every time he's played Fisher since that loss, right, you can sort of see like how seriously Sincillio is going here and how like, motivated he is.
He's definitely on his A game today, which is going to make him very tough to beat.
40-15. And game 2 goes to Sincillio.
This third game is really important, as the difference between a 3-0 lead and a 2-1 lead.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It'll be like the Lakers Nuggets tonight, right? You
Yeah.
can't fall behind 3-0 if you're in either one of these situations. Love. Every one of Sincillio's shots hitting that right on the front of that back corner pretty much, making difficult return for Fisher. And 15-all. And 30-15, Evan Fisher coming out and playing here in game 3. Gotta love it.
Yeah, he really needs this game, and he's looked great so far, doing everything he can to win this.
$30-all.
Huge shot from
40,
Evan
30.
Fisher. That ball was in the air forever, and Evan just winded up and blasted it past Sincillio.
Yeah, he had Sincillio on the defensive the entire time, had to force desperation just to get back and put him really airborne. And there's a game for Evan Fisher, big time, game 3.
Yeah, great performance in game 3, and if he wants to win this matchup, he's going to have to play like that the whole time. So they'll take a break, and so will we, as Evan Fisher takes game 3, but Sincillio keeps a 2-1 lead.
And Evan Fisher just took game 3 there, and that was the decisive win right there. It had him at 40-15 before he ended things. That's the highest. That's the biggest deficit we've seen in these 3 games so far. Sincillio's wins over Fisher were much closer, or at least a little bit closer. And Fisher with just a dominant showing in game 3.
Yeah.
Kept him complete. I mean, Sincillio was having to punt some of those basically, and just to get back on defense. And Fisher was putting his spots incredibly nicely. We'll see how Sincillio responds, and we'll see if Fisher can, take some of this momentum and use it to, keep things going.
Yeah, this is once again another really big game. It's the difference between 3-1 and
Tied up.
yeah.
And 15 love. One of the things you got to love about how Sincillio plays is he doesn't just use that outside corner. He uses that inside corner to his advantage on that serve, and that was a big one. Put Fisher in a tough spot. Managed to recover because he's such a talented tennis player. But in the end, that gave Sincillio the swing there to take that point.
Yeah.
15 love. And folks, great news. Brennan Ingle up on Damian Sincillio 1-0. That's a big one for the Saints. They can take that.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier.
And 30 love. Sincillio responding quite well here. And as you were saying, right, that's a big one. Even if Fisher cannot beat Roman Sincillio, a win from Brennan Ingle over Damian Sincillio would really turn the tide of this match.
We talked about how the Saints' back half is their advantage in this match, but Blake Caldwell is down 2-1 in his matchup. So, as we mentioned before, the switch, Caldwell playing the 5, Barber playing the 4.
Correct, Caldwell playing the 4, Barber playing the 5.
Yes, there's a fault, but we mentioned that switch earlier in the game, and we'll see if that comes back to bite them. But Bo Barber has a 2-0 lead. Excuse me, 2-1.
And I believe that Fisher take that point or Caldwell?
I'm not sure.
Sincillio take that point. I'm not 100% sure. And that might be the game for Sincillio. I'm not 100% sure.
That's either the game or
he's got one more.
Not sure.
We'll see if Fisher's serving it. It'll be the game. No, he's got one more. I believe that should make it 40-15.
Yeah. Evan still has a chance here, but Sincillio's looked incredible this game after Evan really took control in game 3.
And that should be the game. Sincillio.
3-1 now.
Big time game 4 for him. And so, yeah, Barber up 2-0 in his matchup with Morgan Hewitt, and Caldwell down to Sam Nedeff.
Yeah. Jake Coolin winning 3-0. So.
Fault 1 right there, Fisher.
Can't have those happen. But we talked about in the pregame the Saints needed at least 2 out of 3 in the back 3 to win. And they're on pace to do that right now with Barber and Coolin both having their leads.
And if Brennan Ingle can beat Damian Sincillio, that would definitely net to a big one right there, even if Caldwell can't take it. And another fault from Fisher. And these are just barely faulting, but, you know, close only counts on horseshoes and hand grenades, as they say. That's not going to cut it here, especially when you're playing Roman Sincillio. And big time mistake from Fisher there. 30 love. Sincillio is really good at putting like on these like punt type shots where he puts air on it and gives him time to recover, and then he can just get back and play, you know, his grounded tennis. He means that he bails himself out of like any any poor positioning really well, which you got to respect, as it's now 30 love Sincillio in a big game 5.
Sincillio was going to say that was a fault.
And 15-30, I believe.
Yeah, it's a big matchup for Evan. Don't want to fall behind 4-1.
That took a lot to get that point. Fault. Gus Mitchell up over Sterling Burke right now, 1-0. And 30 all. Fisher. Back-to-back points.
Yeah, they needed that. Bo Barber up 4-1, so the Saints 5 and 6 taking care of business.
And 40-30. Great rally, but Sincillio comes out on top. (40-30) Sincillio. This is a big point right here. Otherwise, Fisher falls down here. 4-1. Fault.
Yeah, Evan's got to get this one in here.
Cannot afford to lose this, especially you don't want to go down like on a double fault here either. Brendan Ingle now up 2-1. He has been exceptional here. This is be a big time win for the Saints.
Yeah, like we mentioned, the Saints need to take care of business with the bottom 3 and then just get one win from their top 3, and then they're in a great spot.
And
it's
that'll be another game for Sincillio.
4-1 Sincillio. But I believe Blake Caldwell, let's see, they're updating the score right now. So Blake Caldwell down 3-2, but Bo Barber and Jake Coolin both have big leads.
He's got, again, a tough matchup in Trinity's for Sam Nediff. And you know, it's been difficult. You see tensions running high there. I think not having officials here makes things difficult. Caldwell wanted to call, obviously, since they're self-reffing, you can't really get it. And, you know, he's got to just calm himself down. As Dr. Ute, Saints assistant coach, goes to calm him down. And, right, this is, of course, over 4-1 here. This Sincillio has shown up today, in a big way. This is like the type of Sincillio that never lost. This is not the same Sincillio that we saw when Fisher beat him. Certainly, he's been making, but some of the things, right, we've seen a few kills mistakes from Fisher. And every mistake is a Sincillio point.
Yeah. This game right here could essentially wrap things up, as I don't see Evan coming back if he goes down 5-1.
I don't know. Sincillio has an issue holding leads occasionally. That's been something that, at least the freshman year he did when he played last year. He had a massive lead over R1, and it ended up coming down to the wire. So, especially pressure's high, you never rule out a comeback.
The way he's been playing, I just see it unlikely.
Yes, that's true. At the current way he plays, I doubt a comeback's possible. But you never know, right? Deterioration to play, overconfidence, all factors. As well
if Evan can just take this game, it's down to 2. So hopefully for Evan, he just takes this game. We don't even have to think about a 4-game comeback.
Fault 1.
Fault.
And 15 love, Roman Sincillio. Every single shot Roman is placing perfectly here.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's only so much you can do there. Fault
Fault
from-
one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a double fault. So 15-15.
Barely a double fault. That was a really
Yeah.
close one. (30-15) and a negative update here for the Saints. Jake Coolin's 3-0 lead has shrunk to 3-2. Back-to-back games won by Thomas Strickler.
Yeah, Blake Caldwell locking in right now. He's looking to take this. Currently down 3-2, but
And I believe that is
30-30.
30-30.
Yeah. Been watching Caldwell in between these points, and he's been looking great. As he takes another. This is a big point for Evan. Really don't want to fall into a position where you could lose this game.
Fault. And 40-30. Sterling and Brendan now both up 2-1. Two big wins and upsets right now for the Saints
Yeah.
on the 2-3 sets. That's great news. And that's another game for Roman Sincillio, and that is
Yeah.
just incredible tennis right that we are witnessing
Yeah.
right now.
Evan's not even playing bad. It's just Roman's been impeccable.
Now, there's not been a flaw in this game. The Fisher's made a few mistakes today, and everyone has been has been perfectly capitalized.
Yeah, that's why. That's the impressive thing about this game so far is Evan hasn't been making that many mistakes, but just every single mistake Roman's capitalized.
(15 love). Sincillio continues his dominance today.
Even with Sincillio looking likely to take this matchup, the Saints are still in a very good position right now.
Especially if both
If
Burke
both Ingle and Burke win, this could be over before doubles.
And there's a big shot from Fisher. I believe it's 15-30 now.
Yeah, Blake Caldwell looking very good.
He's stepped up today.
Yeah, we heard some we were hearing some yelling from him after he just won that last set.
(40-30). Sincillio.
But the Saints now leading in 5 of the 6 matches.
Blake Caldwell now taking back-to-back games, and it's 4-3.
Yeah, so if results hold, doubles won't be necessary.
Fault from Fisher. Dangerously close right there.
Yeah.
I think Fisher's going to call that out, and we're going to call it 40 all. But, I mean, again, some of the interesting thing, right, not having referees there, like bang-bang calls like that generally go to, you know, the person in,
Yeah.
in favor. And there's another one. And that is that the game? I'm not 100% sure. No, I think he's got one more. Fault from Fisher.
Just a gorgeous shot from Roman Sincillio.
Fisher was able to do that against his opponent yesterday. Sincillio's not that guy.
Yeah.
That may work against a lot of tennis players, but Roman Sincillio's not one of them, as we're tied at deuce.
The good news for St. Christopher's, though, Bo Barber, 5-2 lead. So that means, as things currently stand, the Saints winning 5 of the 6 matchups.
So we'll probably get more update from, I think, the
Brooks Vineyard.
Fault from Fisher. This is a big one. We're at deuce here. This is the longest game I think we've had so far.
It's not on the stream, but Brooks Vineyard doing some great work getting scores for us. I think that's going to be called a double fault.
And that is, I think, going to be the game.
So 6-1 Roman Sincillio.
Actually, it might not be. Hang on, because I think it just put you advantage. I'm not 100% sure. You know, yeah, it's just advantage Sincillio now.
So
it is a deuce. He's got a... Jake Coolin up 5-2 in other news. Back-to-back games won from Coolin.
That's going to be out.
And back to deuce. Fault 1 from Fisher. And back to an advantage, Sincillio.
Sterling's down 2-3. And Brendan and whoever he's playing just finished a match, but I didn't see it.
Wait.
So a negative update for the Saints. Sterling Burke now down 3-2.
And that's another game for Sincillio. It's 6-1 now? Or 5-1? I think now is at 5-1.
Because it's 4-1.
So Roman Sincillio taking 4 in a row now, and Fisher's got to look to respond here. Even if he doesn't come out with a win here, right? You know, for your own ego and your own pride, right? To make it as much a dogfight as you can. Even though this may not even affect the overall outcome of the match. If the Saints can, you know, take 5, which it's looking close. We'll see how the Sincillio Ingle update should be shortly. And Blake Caldwell now tied back up with Sam, his opponent. And Damian Sincillio has also just taken back-to-back games from Brendan Ingle.
Thanks for letting me know.
And it is now 3-2, Sincillio. And Caldwell now up by 4. So some chaotic news for the Saints here. Some leads fading, some shifts. Sincillio getting back-to-back games off Ingle is big.
But like we mentioned before, what the Saints just needed to do was take care of business with that bottom 3, and they're currently on pace to sweep that bottom 3, which would be huge for them.
Well, and also keep in mind, though, the fact is, right, we're not watching Ingle Sincillio, but the fact that it took this long for them to play 2 games after it was 2-1 should tell you how long those rallies have to be.
Yeah.
Either that or Sincillio likes to take long breaks. We can't guarantee that, but odds are that some great rallies going on in that one.
Yeah, 2 very talented tennis players. So if the Saints can just take the 3 bottom matchups, they're essentially playing with house money for the top 3, as just one of them would give them a huge advantage going into doubles.
But right now, they're down on all 3 in the top 3. And that being said, some of them are very close. Some of them, like this one, are not.
Sincillio Fisher looks lost for the Saints, but Ingle and Burke definitely still have a shot in theirs.
Absolutely. Those look like those are going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, those look like they're getting at least like 17, 18 games. So those will take a while.
As a matter of fact, Brendan Ingle in a pretty comfortable spot, 2-1, but Sincillio making things difficult with at least back-to-back games won. Fault from Sincillio. Would 15 love, Roman Sincillio. $30 love, Roman Sincillio. These are quick points right here he's firing off.
Yeah, he's been dominating really all day.
Well, it's this 4-game streak in a row has been, I think, really big here.
Yeah.
He's just unlocked almost a new level, and if you thought even that was possible.
Yeah.
There's a fault right there. Nice one-handed grab from Sincillio. Got more than just tennis athleticism. And I believe that's 40 love, Sincillio, another ace.
Yeah, he is looking incredible.
Actually, the question, that's not an ace, he got a return, but it was another, like, just dead after the serve. Fault. Another fault there. That's a double fault, I believe, 40-15. And 40-30. Fisher back-to-back points.
Yeah, he's doing a good job fighting back here.
Well, the double fault kept them in it.
Yeah.
Like in that, those mistakes, right? When you talk about such 2 talented tennis players, Sincillio right now playing absolutely dominant tennis, but every mistake, right? it's possible to blow this lead. It's not likely, but it is possible,
Yeah.
and you got to be careful if you're
Especially with a
Sincillio.
player as good as Evan.
Absolutely. And that is the game, though.
7-1 now for Sincillio.
6 straight games from Roman Sincillio. He's firing off games like a masterclass performance here, Winston. Jake Coolin up 7-2 in a scoring update.
Bo Barber, Jake Coolin, both up 7-2. So Saints looking to take their first 2 games pretty soon. That would give them a good start, although Burke and Ingle both down 3-2. And then obviously Fisher down 7-1.
Missed that one. Fisher here could be looking to get a game. I believe it's 30 left, Fisher. I'm not 100% sure on that. Either that or 15 all. Oh, what a shot from Roman Sincillio.
Yeah, nothing Fisher could have done about that.
That was just no look, lay, back, really hard hit, down the line, nothing you can do. And again, we are watching a Division I college tennis player, and an elite one at that, go to work here. Fault right there.
Wow.
What a shot.
I mean, with the way Roman Sincillio is playing, Evan Fisher just doesn't have a chance.
No one does.
Yeah, I don't-
Very few people do.
Yeah. I mean, that's just incredible that not only that he managed to return that shot, but then that he managed to hit a good enough shot that Evan couldn't return it. It's just incredible.
And this game has looked like Evan's, but Evan, I feel like, is doing everything he can. He's got Sincillio running around on the defensive, and even then, right, he's still returning these and putting it in a very difficult spot. Fisher takes that one. This game might actually might go to Fisher here. He might, this is where you start a comeback. And I believe he did. He just got one. Big win from Evan Fisher right there, 7-2. And a comeback could start now. So, Edison, what'd you like from Evan Fisher in that game 9?
Yeah, he just looked a lot more controlled in that one than he had in the previous matchups, and obviously it helped him as he won his first matchups since it was 2-1.
And I mean, when you evaluate that, right, when you think about what it took for Fisher to get that game and how difficult Sincillio made it, like, that should just tell you about the caliber he was playing. If you look at the earlier game Fisher won today, he won it decisively. It was 40-15 when he iced it. That was much closer, and some of the returns and shots that Sincillio had, made things extremely difficult. So for Fisher to take a game, he's going to take his best work, and I think he's more than capable of bringing it, but it's going to take a lot of great tennis.
This is when Roman just needs to lock things down. You can't get complacent here. As I mean, Evan could easily win 4 in a row if Roman starts making careless mistakes, and then before you know it, it's pretty close again.
Yeah, Evan can string off a lot of wins here. But that's not the start to that, as it's 15-love. Jake Coolin about to seal the first win of the day for the Saints. It's 9-2. 1 game away from giving the Saints a 1-0 lead in the match.
Yeah, Coolin's about to wrap his up, and Bo Barber probably soon going to finish, too.
A lot of energy around the 4 matchup between Blake and Sam. I believe it's Netif and, of course, for us, Caldwell. Big one. And I believe it's 30-love Sincillio. And Fisher frustrated right now. You'd think he can be doing more. Sincillio really dictating the pace of this one right now.
Yeah. For Evan, the way you have to approach this is, even though this matchup versus Sincillio is probably lost.
But I don't know if you approach it like if it's probably lost, right? You got to look at it like, I just got to play the best. You don't even think about win or lose. You just got to think, I got to play the best tennis I can play.
Even if you do lose this matchup, you still have doubles, and that's when you can make a huge impact and win your team a state championship.
And Fisher just shrugged there, as in, I think that shrug can be one of 2 things, right? Not happy with himself, but also Sincillio's just been unstoppable. There's only so much you can do there.
Yeah. Some bad news for the Saints. Blake Caldwell just surrendered 2 matches in a row. He's down 6-5. That's going to be a good one.
And, right, this for me, I'd say, for Fisher, right, this is your last singles match in your singles of his career. Just give everything you got. Be happy with your last performance.
Yeah.
That's okay. So 2 bad news. Ingle down 3-4 against Damien Sincillio. That's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
And Sterling Burke down 5-2.
The fact that they've only gotten 7 games done is crazy.
No, those rallies are epic. Brendan Ingle giving everything he has, and those. It's been an incredible match, apparently. And blunder from Sincillio there. Fisher takes that one. 15, I believe it's 15-40. Keep himself alive here.
Pretty good rally there, and it'll be won by Fisher.
It keeps himself alive there, 40-30. Evan Fisher, you know, right, that's the type of mentality you got to see. Just laying everything out on the table.
Yeah.
Knowing, right, this is your last singles match up in your singles versus career. Just give it everything you got and, you know, control what you can control. Sincillio's going to do Sincillio, right, and your best way to beat him is just take care of business on your end. Don't worry about how he does.
Yeah.
Don't worry about anything. Just worry about yourself and how you, you know, give everything you got.
Yeah, Jake Coolin's match still going on. That's likely done pretty soon with him having a 9-2 lead.
Fault from Sincillio. Fisher looking to string back-to-back games here. That'll be big. Caldwell mishap. Well, our court can't lay it down.
It's going to be
And
a
that's
fault.
Double fault, I believe, actually.
Oh.
And I believe that should be tied at deuce.
Yeah. Good response from Evan.
There's another fault. Sincillio serve struggling here in this game. And advantage Sincillio.
Whoa, Barber up 7-3 right now.
Decisive right now on that front. That's a big one.
Saints definitely need him to hold on to that lead. It's Blake Caldwell with a great shot.
And back at a deuce, Evan Fisher with a great play. Sincillio starting to lose momentum here.
Bit of an uncharacteristic error there from Sincillio. So that's a shot that early in the game he was hitting every single time.
I'd say the middle stretch of this game so far, that's where Sincillio is just on a different level.
Yeah.
And right now you're coming back down to planet Earth right here, and that's something where you got to capitalize.
For the first 3 matches, Fisher was right in it, and then for the last 2, it's been close.
The shield seems to be down here, folks. We want to make that type of thing in the sense of, he was unstoppable at one point. He does not look unstoppable right now.
Yeah.
He's made a couple careless blunders in this game, and Fisher, you got to capitalize here and make it 7-3. As we are, I believe, matched at deuce. Fault. And a double fault. Fisher takes the advantage, and as he nears back-to-back games. And Sincillio, 2 double faults here is uncharacteristic and costly.
Yeah. Definitely not something you would expect from him. I believe that's the 3rd double fault of the match.
And
back at deuce, yeah.
Got a long game going on here. And advantage Sincillio. Or actually, that might have been just been the game. I believe that was the game.
Just put a great shot up. And that one and then the Ingle Sincillio matchup are the 2 best going on right now. So Caldwell up 6-5 last time we checked. Ingle down 4-3. Excuse me, Caldwell's down 6-5.
Fault from Fisher. And just put that down the edge. 15 love. Now that game, last game for Fisher that he lost, thought he had that one. And unfortunate there, Sincillio regained momentum. See how Fisher responds. And a careless mistake up front from Sincillio, 15 all.
Yeah, another surprising. Jake Coolin surprisingly has not wrapped things up yet. Have to imagine that happens soon, though.
Fault, I believe, there from Fisher, 15 all. And 30-15. Sincillio, Fisher's shot errant. And you gotta love how Sincillio like takes like a rest like every point, like gives himself. It's almost like a ritual the way he does it. No matter how
going
quick
to
the
that
point
towel
is.
after every point.
Fisher gets some encouraging words to the sophomore Blake Caldwell. Fault from Fisher. And 30 all. Great serve right there, even with fault. Fisher can play more aggressive here, you think, down 8-2. Right, you gotta just play again, have fun out there. Right, that's how you make the comeback. You lock in, play loose, play. And just like that, it is 40-30. Fisher inching closer here to getting his third game. Sterling Burke taking back-to-back games here. It's 4-5 for him over Gus
that's
Mitchell.
encouraging for the Saints.
And into the net, and we're matched at deuce for the second straight game.
Yeah, Sterling getting it back to 5-2 is really encouraging.
5-4, you mean?
Or 5-4, yeah. Because a 5-2 score is really when a game can be decided, because the difference between 7-2 and 5-4 is humongous.
It's massive.
Yeah. Because 7-2, you're pretty unlikely to come back. It looks like Bo Barber has wrapped his up, so the Saints now take their first game. They lead 1-0. Jake Coolin likely soon to follow.
Fault one from Fisher. Tied at deuce. And advantage Fisher.
Blake Caldwell, he takes the game and lets out an emphatic yell.
Getting the crowd riled up. A lot of attention on that one. And that's a game from Evan Fisher right there. Beautiful game right there from Evan Fisher.
Yeah, 8-3 now. I believe Caldwell is up 7-6, but I'm going to wait for them to update the score.
And Blake Caldwell, certainly the entertaining tennis player to watch. A lot of energy and excitement as Bo Barber took care of business early, and the Saints got a 1-0 lead in the match. And that was a big one right there.
Yeah.
Took care of business.
I mean, like we talked about in the pregame, the Saints taking matchups at the bottom half is what's going to win them this game.
And we're seeing in that bottom half things are looking all favorable for the Saints, as I believe Jake Coolin also may have just wrapped up, as that court looks vacant. And Blake Caldwell in a dogfight that he is currently on top of.
I'm not sure if Blake's winning. I know it might be tied. It's empty, so.
Yeah, Coolin ended up winning 10-4, so Strickler did stick around. But in the end, Coolin comes out on top, and the Saints got a 2-0 lead in this in the match.
So 2-0 lead.
And that is big from the senior right there. Jake Coolin taking care of business. And the other senior that, a lot of pressure is going to be on is Brendan Ingle in his matchup with David Sincillio. That is going to be exciting. And while we're not able to stream that one, I tell you in the intermission between doubles, which you most likely will see, I will be watching that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that is going to be quite exciting. These clearly a lot of rallies here. And Evan Fisher goes up 15-love. Big shot right there. And Evan Fisher in a rhythm now.
Yeah. Well, Evan likely isn't going to come back and defeat Sincillio.
Never say never, though.
Yeah,
never say never. He's playing some great tennis right now in these last 3 games.
Something really important for this is just him getting some confidence back before the likely doubles, because they're going to need him on his A game for that as he goes with Brendan Ingle.
And another one, 30-love. Evan Fisher turning out tennis points like they're nothing right now. Gotta love it. Great plays from Fisher right here.
So Blake Caldwell has a 7-6 lead. So
Ingle, Sincillio, 4-5. I think that stays the same. Sterling Burke still down 4-5. That score update has stayed. Scores have stayed constant.
Yeah, Sterling doing a very good job.
Holding his own. That bodes well for the future because Gus Mitchell is better than a lot of teams' ones.
Yeah. So we thought Sterling was going to be the heavy underdog going into this matchup against Gus Mitchell, but he's fighting, and who knows, one good string, and he could win that.
And we've heard from Coach Lewis just how epic those rallies have been between Damian and Brendan. As Brendan Ingle, right, definitely the underdog in that matchup, but he has apparently been bringing his A game today, and he is giving everything he got. And right, just stick in there, keep it close, and then eventually you can pull away.
Which that bodes well for the upcoming doubles if Brendan's on his A game. Especially with Evan starting to look better as this game's gone on.
He's on a rhythm, I believe, 30-love.
It's a great return from Fisher.
Can't come up with that one. Great rally, but Sincillio comes out on top on that rally. I believe it's 15-30. Good swordsmanship right there between Sincillio and Fisher. Got to admire that as they head in the middle of this game 12.
So the Caldwell matchup, 7-7 now. That's going to come down right to the end. as it's looking likely that that one's going to go the full 19 games. As throughout the whole matchup, neither player's been able to separate and gain a big advantage.
And there's another one from Fisher right there as he, I think, nears a close here on yet another game. He's on a roll right now.
Yeah, definitely.
And the momentum right here, all Fisher.
No matter how this game ends between Sincillio and Fisher, the fact that Evan's starting to play his best tennis as this game's going on bodes really well for the upcoming doubles that's probably going to happen.
And you're right, this is your last singles match as a senior. You want to end on a strong note. Even if you don't win, right, you want to know that you made it close. You made it a hard-fought match.
Yeah, definitely don't want to lose 10-1 in your final match.
And Evan Fisher takes that one. Big play from there, and yet another game from Fisher.
So it's 8-4 now. Evan taking all the momentum in this matchup.
And back to 3 of the last 4 have gone Fisher's way, and he's in a rhythm. He nearly had 4 out of the last 4. Sincillio really had to fight for that one. And
I mean,
he is now playing his best tennis.
That game that Sincillio did take was massive for him, as the difference between 8-4 and 7-5 is huge.
Yeah, and I mean that one he did take was a long extended battle. Went to deuce, AD, back to back and forth.
Yeah.
Sincillio, I think, had command.
So Blake Caldwell has surrendered back-to-back games. He's now down 8-7, so he's going to need a quick response, as the Saints in danger of dropping their first game. Love Fisher. Sterling Burke down 5-6, so he's definitely putting up a fight against Gus.
15 love, I believe Fisher. Fault. Great shot. Did that? I think that landed. I think that landed.
Wow.
And that missed. That missed. He corrects us there. Would have been an incredible shot. 30 love right now, Fisher. Fisher didn't put up the out sign though, but I think that apparently well out, according to Sincillio himself.
Love, Evan Fisher. He's looking incredible.
As Sterling Burke though down 5-6. Update on that front. He's this is a dog that's coming down to the wire too. Great shot from Burke.
3 of these matchups, and that's the game. Evan Fisher making a comeback effort. Now only a 3-game difference, and
the lead keeps shrinking.
Yeah, now that one game that Roman did win, the one of the last 5 that he won, Luton's very large.
There have been 2 games here that Fisher has lost so far that were extremely tight.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if he wins both of those, he's winning right now.
Yeah, that includes the opening game, keep in mind, too, because Fisher had missed a couple golden opportunity, and then Sincillio made an incredible play to give him that game.
Yeah.
But, right, you're looking at this, this is going to come down to the wire. You're seeing how talented Fisher is. He's in the rhythm. If you're Sincillio, right, you are struggling you got to reclaim momentum. before this gets matched up
I mean,
at 8. At this rate, right, he's strung out 3 in a row now. This is a great showing as cheers are up from the Brennan Ingle Damian Sincillio matchup. That is also going to come down to the wire. We're seeing some incredible tennis today.
The Ingle Sincillio, Burt Gus, and then Caldwell's matchup, they're all going to come down to the wire.
Well, Edison, you were so not confident in the comeback, but this looks like something might be coming down to the wire, too.
Yeah.
The way Fisher's been playing, this is not over
If
at
Evan
all.
strings out another 3 out of 4, it's 9-8. So,
I mean, how about just forget 3 out of 4? Let's shoot for 4 out of 4. He's playing well enough to be able to do that. He nearly had 4 out of 4.
yeah, I mean, if he wins that one matchup that got down to...
Different game right now. Just different game.
Yeah. That stretch that Sincillio had winning 5 in a row is over.
And 15 love Sincillio. A little bit overshot from Fisher. Good rally. As Blake Caldwell matches that one 8-8. 8 apiece over there. That's again coming down to the wire.
Yeah, that one's looking like it's going to go the full 19.
Very evenly matched game. And 30 love Roman, but these rallies are a lot longer than they were in that middle chunk of the game, I'll tell you that.
Roman had that one stretch in the middle of the game where he won 5 in a row, and he was just dominating. But other than that, this has been very tightly contested, and especially recently, Evan has looked very good.
He looked dominant. Don't even get past very good. There have been there was some straight shutouts in some of these games. I mean, he's been.
I mean, the last match he won, he was up 40-0 when he iced it.
Yeah, and it was decisive. Right now, there's a 30-0 lead for 30 love lead for Roman Sincillio. As 30-15, as Brendan Ingle and Damian Sincillio still at 5-4. Still at 5-4. How is this possible,
fight,
folks? That these rallies must be absurd.
Yeah. We can't see the match from where we're set up, but we can hear the cheers, and they're going a very long time in between the cheering.
Out 40-15. Sincillio looks to make it with one shot right here, make it a 9-5 lead, which
this
would
is
be
a
big.
huge.
Yeah.
The difference between 8-6 and 9-5 is massive.
No, you can say that about a lot of different points.
Yeah, but
this one right, that just inches only one game away from ending things, and that makes the task much more difficult for Fisher.
Yeah, the difference between Fisher having to win
2 games,
4 out of 5,
and 5 out of 5.
Yeah. Blake Caldwell taking a 9-8 lead as he inches closer to making it 3-0 St. Christopher's. It's a fault.
Double fault here would let Fisher right back in this game. And that is the game. Roman Sincillio.
Huge response from Roman.
9-5.
As if Evan wants to win this, he's going to have to go win 5 in a row now.
I mean, he shows you can win 3 to 4 in a row, but 5 in a row is a difficult task.
Especially against a player as good as Roman Sincillio.
as even without an even if Sincillio doesn't end up taking this one, if Brendan Ingle and Sterling Burke can take care of business, then this is just doesn't matter.
What the Saints are looking for here is Caldwell needs to take care of business in his matchup. That's 9-8. As continue after the point. But
and 15-love Fisher.
At minimum, the Saints need Caldwell to take care of business, and then if you can just get one of Fisher, Burke, or Angle to win, then you're in a great position going into doubles, only needing to win one of the matches.
And it's 15-all. As cheers erupt from that Caldwell.
Not sure if it doesn't look like he's done, but I believe he's inching closer. His opponent just hit one into the net. It's Blake firing lasers on his serves.
(30-15). Fisher, well played right there.
Yeah, beautiful shot from him.
And right, he has got more careful with those lays against Sincillio, who made him pay for a few of them early by putting them right back over his head. But he put it well placed in the corner, gave himself more room to work. As it's 30-15 Fisher.
It's Caldwell inching closer and closer to taking his 10th game. Just won another point.
Fault, a really hard hit serve though right there from Fisher. And that's a double fault right there, 30-all. Cannot afford that. He crushed that one. Sterling Burke is down 6-7, as it seems like Blake Caldwell.
Blake's at 40.
Is a shot away from ending it.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated on that. But Sterling Burke still in a dogfight. So the Saints just need either his match or Angle's match to go their way, and then they're in a great position going into doubles, assuming Caldwell holds on.
(30-all). Fault serve struggling here from Fisher. And
as Blake Caldwell has just taken his, it's now 3-0 St. Christopher's. As in the pregame we mentioned, the Saints bottom half needed to take care of business, and they've done just that, sweeping the 5, 6, and 7, or excuse me, the 4, 5, and 6 matchups.
As it is now 40-30, and Roman Sincillio is a shot away from ending things here. As now attention turns to Brendan Ingle here.
Yeah, if one of Angle or Burke can take their matchups, the Saints are in a great place.
And Fisher matches it reduce here in game 15.
Yeah, Evan's not done yet. Still wants to put up a fight and potentially just put more pressure on Sincillio.
As cheers are up for Blake Caldwell, who, if the Saints end up winning this game, will be the hero of the day, arguably. Him or Brendan Ingle or Sterling Burke, whoever takes their matchups. Advantage Sincillio. In the Brendan Ingle matchup, it's going to be a battle of stamina, though.
Yeah.
That's in the name of Sincillio, because at this rate, the way these rallies have gone, both those guys have to be exhausted.
Yeah, something to watch is in doubles, Sincillio and Angle both probably going to be exhausted. There's a fault.
Advantage Sincillio. One more fault here would do things here. And back at deuce. And no, did he just? No, right. It's still going on. It's still going on. It's still on. Still at deuce.
That will
Advantage.
do it.
No, I think it's just advantage.
Oh,
Sincillio.
yeah,
Advantage,
you're
advantage
correct.
Sincillio.
These two players both exhausted after a long match, and even though the score says that Sincillio's dominating, really has not been that way.
For a while, at least.
Yeah.
He was in a moment where
There
he
were
was.
there were 5 games in the middle where he dominated, but other than that, it's been very even.
And back at deuce.
As something to watch for doubles, which will likely happen, is the Saints would need both Ingle and Burke to win to avoid doubles, and it's unlikely that they get both of those results.
But they're pretty close. They're
Yeah.
well matched up right
Yeah,
now. That
but
is,
they're playing 2 very good tennis players. I think it's unlikely that they get both of them.
but it's likely,
It's
I think they
possible.
get one.
Yeah,
it's likely
I think
get
they
one.
split them.
Question is who.
Yeah.
Advantage
Yeah,
Sincillio.
but something to watch for doubles is, as this game's gone on, Fisher has been incredible.
He's heating up, and
Yeah.
at the right moment.
Ever since Sincillio got it to 7-2, Evan's been the better player. So if he can play this way in doubles, it'd be huge for
I
St.
think
Christopher's.
I think it was 7-1.
Yeah, you're right. It was 7-1.
Fault right there from Fisher. And Fisher keeps things alive at deuce still. An incredibly long game. Fisher will not let his last singles point or his last singles match end. It will end on his terms.
Yeah.
And if Sincillio wins, so be it to him. But at the same time, right, you know, you got to put everything out on the table, and you got to make him really, really work for it. And that's what you see from him right now. Keep on. And there's the advantage from Fisher right there,
Yeah.
regaining momentum.
It's been a dogfight. Is neither player giving any separation.
Right there, taking momentum back.
Yeah.
One shot away here from forcing a game
16.
16.
Give me a
Right
fault.
there, barely. Back to deuce.
Neither of these players giving in.
Fault from Fisher. And advantage Sincillio. And advantage now Sincillio. A really, really hard fought game right now. Fault from Fisher. And back to deuce.
This is incredible tennis.
A big mistake right there from Sincillio, though, that kept things alive.
Yeah, Fisher and Sincillio just trading blows.
Both of them have to be exhausted.
Yeah.
This has been a really, really hard-fought game. And, I mean, Fisher has basically told Sincillio here in the forms of incredible tennis play, I'm not going out without taking 6.
Yeah.
If we were back at deuce and he has left everything out on the table.
Yeah. What a return.
And that might be the game. But that's how you fight. That's how you fight.
Yeah.
And that's how you put everything out on the table.
No, I think it's still just
No, correction, yeah. Now it's just advantage
But
Sincillio.
something to watch for the doubles match is Ingle, Fisher, and then the Sincillio brothers are all going to be exhausted, as this game's been going on forever, and then the Ingle Sincillio matchup over on the other courts has been a dogfight.
That will be going on forever.
Yeah.
That
These players are just going to be exhausted. So there's a fault from Fisher, and
might have to do doubles on Sunday the way that that Sincillio Ingles match is going. A big time shot from Fisher sends things right back to deuce. As Gus Mitchell pulling away from Sterling Burke, that one's 6-9, and Burke, desperation time right now.
yeah.
As
So
was it just like his matchup with Sincillio, was really tight and hard fought, but eventually Burke's opponent in that had pulled away, and that's what we're seeing here today. As Burke here's got to leave everything out on the table if he wants to get this one.
Does put more pressure on Brendan Angle, as if he can win, the difference between 4-2 and 3-3 going into doubles is massive.
Well, if Ingle doesn't, it puts a lot of pressure on doubles, I'll tell you that. Is
Yeah.
even split heading into doubles would be difficult. And Evan Fisher takes the advantage. Another incredible shot as Evan Fisher, again, everything is out. He's playing with his heart right now. I mean, you can see it. He just locked in.
Yeah. I mean, neither of these two players giving anything. Is incredible tennis going on right now.
Yeah, and this one game.
Yeah, this has been going on forever. What's the score?
Brendan Ingle should be tied up, I believe, with Damian Sincillio right now. That continues to be a hard-fought matchup.
The fact that they've only gotten through 10 games is crazy. As Evan Fisher takes game 15. And it's going to put more pressure on Sincillio. As Evan Fisher, Robin's going to go out and talk to him, having some cramping issues in his calf.
Well, I'd be cramping too after how long that game just went.
Yeah, we'll be back. Welcome back. Big update for the Saints. Brendan Ingle up 6-5 over Sincillio. Evan Fisher, 15 love. He's not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, again, Brendan Ingle just showing out here in a big way for the Saints when they need him.
Yeah.
Dane Sincillio, from what I've heard from other tennis players, been a tough matchup when they they'll play occasional games against each other. Been difficult for Brendan, but today he is showing up in the biggest moment when the Saints need him, and is putting up an MVP-type performance in a really hard-fought match. He's playing his best tennis.
Yeah, they've only gotten through 11 games, which just shows you how long those rallies have been. And gorgeous shot from Fisher, 30 love.
I believe Gus Mitchell may have just ended things for the Titans as you hear uproar.
His Burke was down 9-6, but, I mean, during that break, we went to check on Brendan's matchup, and we walked by Brendan. He looked exhausted.
But I bet you Damien is, too, if they both have to be.
Both those players definitely gassed.
And I believe 30-15. But this has been a different Evan Fisher we've seen in the back half of this game.
There were those 5 games in the middle where he struggled, but other than that, he's been dominant.
No, he's been in a real rhythm as of late. And as Sincillio was in a rhythm in that middle half of the game, right now what we're seeing is Fisher take over in this back half, and that is big. Yeah, it's official. Sterling Burke has just officially lost to Gus Mitchell.
So Trinity takes their first point
in the match. Fault from Sincillio.
But the Saints still have a 3-1 lead, and just trying to push that to 4, which would be huge for them. Going into doubles, that would mean just 1 doubles win, and they'll be state champions.
Nah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you were doubting M. Fisher's comeback ability, and
I wasn't doubting Fisher's ability. I just thought that it'd be tough to come back against a player as good as Roman Sincillio, but
we're looking like we're seeing a comeback right now. I might just jinx that as it proceeds to be 30 all. I think it's 30. I think it's 30 all. .40-30, Sincillio inches closer to.
Yeah, just one more point, he would take this.
But we know what Fisher has done with his heels against the wall here.
Yeah.
Today, and I assume it'll be no different right now.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to go down without a fight.
As a fault from Sincillio. Double fault here would match things at deuce.
That will do it. Roman Sincillio, I don't know how he returned some of those, but he will win this matchup against Evan Fisher 10-6, and that'll bring the overall score to 3-2.
And that means we will be seeing you with doubles. Fisher Ingle, Sincillio. When we come back, we'll take a pretty substantial intermission right here.
And we'll have occasional updates on the Ingle Sincillio matchup.
All right, that'll be all for right now.
Big news from the Damian Sincillio Brendan Ingle matchup. Brendan Ingle has an 8-5 lead, and just like that, the Saints 2 games away from having a 4-2 advantage going into doubles. So stay tuned for that. big news from the Brendan Ingle Damian Sincillio matchup. Brendan takes 6 straight points to win that 10-5. So the Saints now have a 4-2 lead, and they're just one match away from being crowned state champions. We'll be streaming the doubles, so stay tuned.
And welcome back. We're here after with Brendan Ingle, who just won 6 straight games to get a victory over Damian Sincillio and put the Saints in a very favorable position heading into doubles. Brendan, walk me through what happened in those 6 straight games and really hard-fought rallies and everything. How'd you do it?
The first 9 games probably took like an hour and a half. It was definitely a battle. Honestly, I just tired him out and then stayed patient. And then the 6 games, there were still some close games, so I kind of just kept fighting. I knew that I was going to be a little nervous on some shots and miss some bad shots I should make, but just kind of had to trust it and know he was tired. I was still in it, so it was going to work out in the end. That's kind of what happened.
I got you. And what do you think you did from a conditioning standpoint to help you be ready for such a long, hard-fought battle?
It's a great question, actually. I don't know. I think it's more mental than anything. This is my last match on the team ever, and I've been a part of this program since 8th grade. And since I've been on the team, we've never lost a match. And I knew my match was the most important coming into today. So I wasn't going to let myself lose, honestly, in my last match as a Saint. So.
Well, congratulations to you, man. Way to play your heart out. Good luck for the rest of the match, and good luck in doubles.
Thanks, Austin.
And welcome back after a sustained intermission. The Saints right now have a 4-2 lead and are one doubles win away from ending the VISAA State Tournament Final in tennis with a victory. All they got to do is win one of 3 doubles matches. Brendan Ingle, who will be playing in this doubles match we are watching now in the on the one court for doubles, beat Damian Sincillio 10-5, stringing out 6 straight games in his favor. A true battle of endurance and stamina in that one. A battle that Brendan Ingle came on top of. That will be a factor, I think, in this
definitely.
doubles matchup. Damian Sincillio and Brendan Ingle both have to be quite tired. Sincillio more so than Ingle. Evan Fisher heated up at the end of his matchup with Roman Sincillio. That was still a 10-6 loss. It was very hard fought, though, the entire way.
Yeah.
Fisher definitely did not go out without a fight. And this will be the last doubles match of Brendan Ingle and Evan Fisher's high school career.
Yeah.
So this will be a potential epic send-off with a win, but most likely
I don't even think this game is going to
go all the way.
Yeah. If I had to guess, the 5-6 matchups are the ones that ended, as Jake Coolin and Bo Barber both dominated in singles, so I see no reason why they wouldn't dominate the same opponents in doubles.
Let me see who we're lining up for that that 5-6 group. So let's see. All right, it's going to be Barber, Coolin versus Hewitt and Strickler on in the 5-6 matchups.
Yeah, that's the one where I think the Saints definitely have a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, and that'll be the most likely one for them to take the victory here
Yeah.
and end things. However, considering stamina. Considering stamina an issue here in this one, if Ingle and Fisher are much more, well rested and full of more energy here, this could be the court. I think that's definitely these 4 had some very long, sustained matchups. I believe all of them were the last people done. I believe.
Yeah.
So stamina could be a factor here, and it could bode well for the Saints as we are near the beginning of this one.
Yeah. On this court, the Saints definitely are more well rested, but I just think the talent gap in the 5-6 matchup's too big, and that's probably going to be the one that clinches it for the Saints. The 3-4 matchup is one that could go Trinity's way, as Sterling Burke lost 10-6 in his matchup, and then Blake Caldwell barely squeaked out a win 10-9 in his. So that does put pressure on the 5-6, because I'd say Trinity's definitely favored in the 3-4 matchup, and then this one could go either way. So the Saints just need to get things wrapped up in that 5-6, as they really don't want to be in a position where they have to beat 2 very talented players in the Sincillio brothers.
And with the way Ingle and Fisher have played today, though, and the one doubles matchup here, the way that both Ingle and Fisher have played today, especially the latter half in the latter half of their matches, it bodes well for the Saints in this doubles performance here. We'll see if they can keep that momentum. Brendan Ingle looked superhuman at the end of that finish against Damian Sincillio.
Yeah,
every shot was going. He was making. Sincillio had a few great rallies that he played quite well, but Ingle was just dominating.
Yeah, Brendan took 6 games in a row at the end of that.
And we'll see how the Sincillios respond.
Yeah.
And we'll see how Evan Fisher responds here to the Saints, and we'll see how Damian responds here.
We have Brooks Vineyard on the other courts watching, and we'll tell you when score updates occur.
As we're about to get underway here.
Roman Sincillio and David Sincillio versus Brendan Ingle and Evan Fisher.
And we're underway. And it's 15-love. Great start for the Saints. 15-all. Roman Sincillio marks it out. It was quite close, but it was a little bit out.
We do have a pretty good view of this side of the court.
And fault from Brendan Ingle. And 15-30. Ingle looking a little tired here.
Yeah. Definitely understandable after this matchup with Damian Sincillio went very long.
And it's going a lot to Roman early, which if you're Fisher and Ingle, you probably want to target Damian, who just played a really long matchup.
Damian's definitely going to be exhausted after that matchup.
And 30-all. Nice shot from Fisher up front.
Yeah, Fisher and Ingle working really well together so far.
And the Sincillio brothers have been attacking Ingle so far, though. That has been, they're seeing that Ingle's a more tired player right now, and he's been getting a lot of shots hit at him. They're not letting Fisher really get involved. I know that Ingle's in the back, but I mean they're not leaving anything up front. And 40-30, Sincillio's.
Laser right at Evan Fisher.
Yeah, the first time went really right at him, right over his head. And that land in, Edison. What do you?
I'm not sure.
If it did, that's
it doesn't look like it as. Looks like an Angle still serving.
Yeah, so we're at match at deuce. Fault one from Ingle. And advantage Sincillio's. Great shot from Roman. And again, Roman Sincillio is basically been very heavily involved in this doubles.
Yeah, definitely.
In comparison to his brother Damian. Which, Brett, the way the Sincillios are going at Brendan, you'd think that the Saints would try to go more at Damian, though I don't know if Roman's giving him a chance to do that. Or just from a fatigue standpoint alone.
A great shot from Sincillio.
That might be the first. That is the first game, I believe.
So 1-0 lead for the Sincillio brothers.
And it was a hard fought. Went to deuce, and Sincillio just eventually pulled out. Roman I felt like, was putting the group on his back right there.
Yeah, definitely.
The ball was not going to Damian Sincillio much at all.
So surprising news from the 5-6 matchup. Barber and Coolin down 1-0. So definitely something to keep an eye on is the Saints likely are relying on that matchup to be the one that closes it out for them. As I'd say Trinity's probably favored in the other two.
I would say that's fair. I would say this one is definitely
closer. Yeah.
Than I think the.
I'd say this one's probably like 52-48 Trinity.
I'd say that's about right. I would say that the Saints are the slight underdogs here, and I'd say they'd be bigger underdogs here if it weren't for how Ingle and Fisher have played today.
Yeah.
Especially how tired Damian Sincillio is.
Yeah. And then I'd say that Trinity's best shot, or the game Trinity's the most heavily favored in would be the
3-4, yeah. The two doubles.
Burke lost pretty handily to Gus, and then Blake Caldwell,
Dogfight, absolute.
yeah, Blake
down the
won,
wire.
but it took him 19 games to win it. So those two players are very evenly matched.
Yep, and we'll see here though, right? If you're Fisher and Ingle, you got to go at Damian Sincillio.
Yeah.
It's not negotiable. You want Roman as involved as little as possible.
Yeah, Roman not only being the better player, but being on fresher legs. That's a fault.
And
Wow.
nothing Ingle could do there. That was
Yeah.
a really hard hit one right in the air.
Incredible shot from Roman Sincillio,
Again, this entire doubles match so far has gone through Roman.
which not what the Saints want.
15 love. And that's what you want to do, right at
Yeah.
Damian Sincillio, putting pressure on him. And I know Sincillio is a real problem up front, just considering how lengthy he is. But at the same time, right, you're picking your poison, and the poison you do not want to pick is Roman Sincillio.
Yeah. A good update for the Saints. Blake Caldwell and Sterling Burke up 1-0. So we were saying that was the game that Trinity probably had the best chance in. So
That bodes well for the Saints. It would be a shocker if that's the one that does it all. Would be a mark of how well Blake Caldwell has played today.
'cause remember, Caldwell generally had been slotted in as the Saints 5 going into this, but they switched him up to the 4 for the championship.
And 30-15, Fisher can't get to it. Excellent shot from Roman Sincillio.
Now we have a better update. Barber and Coolin have won 2 in a row. So they're up 2-1 now and 20% of the way to a state championship.
And
Great
another shot from
Damian-
Roman
or Damian-
Sincillio.
Roman, yeah.
40-15. This game, too, is looking like a decisive edge for the Sincillios.
Yeah, I mean, nothing Evan Fisher could have done on that.
I mean, when the ball is going to Roman right now, it's stopping there, basically. And
Yeah.
what I mean by stopping, I don't mean like he's not returning it. I mean the point
Saints
is
aren't
about to be
returning it.
right over because he is picking his spots exceptionally well right now. And gets that by. That's an ace right there from Roman
Yeah.
Sincillio.
So
And that should be game 2.
2-0 lead for the Titans now.
He's looking to come back. I think if you're Ingle and Fisher, you are not that worried about this game, even if you don't get it and things end early. Right? It's Bo Barber and Jake Colin, who I think the most weight of the world is on right now, because that's the one that the Saints are expected to win handily.
Yeah, definitely. This matchup's going into it was about a 50-50. And with Trinity taking the first 2 games, the odds have definitely shifted in their favor. Angle
And
with a spike.
Nice spike from Ingle right there.
Yeah, but
15
with
love.
Burke and Caldwell taking game 1, the odds probably shifting towards about even now. But if the Saints can't take care of business in the doubles 3 game, they could be in trouble.
Fault 1 from Fisher. And double fault right there. Can't afford that. 15 all. And 30-15. Remember, Evan Fisher was cramping at the end of his matchup with Roman Sincillio. You can see that a little bit here. He's not moving full speed. You can see he has a little bit of wobble in the legs.
Yeah, definitely.
Fault. Another potential double fault here from Fisher. As he stretches that leg, clearly cramping. And 30 all. That shot sails from, I believe, Damian Sincillio. Yeah, right at Damian. I think it's... Yeah, as they confirm, it's 30 all. Near backhand over behind the back shot from Damian Sincillio is nowhere close. 40-30, Saints inching to take their first game here in this doubles matchup.
Yeah. This will be a good response for them. And while I find it unlikely that this game even finishes, definitely want to feel good about your performance with two seniors on playing their last matches.
And that is the first one for the Saints.
Big response from them.
2-1, yeah. When you've watched them play doubles so far, at least the last time I watched these two play doubles against each other, it was back and forth. The Sincillios had the upper hand, but it was very, very evenly fought.
Yeah.
And that was, again, both from great days from Brendan Ingle and Evan Fisher. So the difference between that one and this one, though, is Damian Sincillio was much more tired than he was when he was playing that. He had actually a quick matchup with Sterling Burke, or a relatively quick matchup with Sterling Burke that day, in comparison to the absolute elongated one he just lost today to Brendan Ingle. So definitely different stamina levels here as we head into Game 4. And welcome back. Sincillio serving in Game 4. Going to be Damian Sincillio to serve as we get ready to go. And fault one from Damian Sincillio off the let.
I believe that's an ace from Damian Sincillio.
Yeah, put it right between them. 15 love.
Big news from the doubles 3 matchup. Bo Barber and Jake Coolin up 4-1, inching closer to a state title.
That's a back-to-back aces, I believe, from Damian Sincillio. As it's 30 love, and he is just firing missiles right now. Fault. And double fault. 30-15. And spike from Roman Sincillio, 40-30.
Yeah, that ended up on another court.
Yeah, 40-15, correction. As Sincillio's inching closer to a 3-1 lead. And there's another ace. That's the game. Damien Sincillio serving a masterclass right there as they're up 3-1. Ingle and Fisher looking fatigued right now, both of which, played really hard-fought matches out of gas, especially Fisher, I think, with that cramp too. And I believe it's a fault. And 15 love.
Trinity took that, correct?
They did. 15 love, Trinity. And 15 all. Great serve from Ingle. Definitely the best opportunity the Saints have to get games here when they have this type of situation where they're serving against the tired. When it goes to Damien Sincillio, more tired, it gives Saints favor. Let. And that's a great serve from Brendan Ingle, as it is now 30-15 Saints, I believe.
Yeah.
What a shot from Fisher, and that
30.
inches the Saints closer.
Is it 40-15?
I believe so. Saints about to take a game here and get back within one. And he called that out. I believe we're at deuce.
Yeah.
I think we're actually at deuce. Yeah, it could be wrong, but I think we're at deuce right now. It's either 40-30 or we're at deuce. As cheers erupt from, I believe that's got to be, I assume that's Bro Barber's court right now.
I don't think it's done yet.
No, but I
Because
feel like inching closer,
yeah,
right?
definitely. Because let's see.
Well, if it wasn't
4
deuce,
minutes ago, we got an update that it's 4-1, so definitely not over yet. But
as that was an excellent shot from Roman Sincillio, I believe, as we look like we're at deuce, or either that deuce or advantage Sincillio. Fault from Brendan. Cannot afford to lose this one if you're a Fisher and Ingle, especially when you had a cushion. As, yeah, I believe we lose that one again. We're down 4-1. Double fault to end it. That's painful. No, correction, sorry, we're not done yet. Ingle's still serving. Just looked like it was over.
Damien Sincillio is down.
Potential injury here. We'll see what that means.
Said he blacked out. So scary moment. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I think it might be dehydration,
Yeah.
honestly. I think he's got
we'll
an issue.
take a break.
And welcome back as Damian Sincillio has recovered, and we are in the midst of Roman Sincillio serving, and I believe it's 4-1.
Cheers erupting from the Saints crowd. Not sure what it was, but we should have word soon from Brooks Vineyard.
Out of bounds, 15 Love. Saints inching closer to victory, even though this one seems to get farther out of hand. Great shot from Fisher, 15 all.
Bo Barber and Jake Coolin, 6-1 lead now. So they've won 6 games in a row after dropping the first one. And just 4 wins away from the Saints being crowned as state champions.
Fault right there.
Not sure if that was in.
I'm not 100% sure how that one all ended up playing out. Keep in mind, this is the first time we've had to go to double so far in this tournament.
Yeah.
So hats off to the Titans on how they played today.
This was the first time the Saints even lost a single game all tournament. It was a great serve there from Sincillio. But, so that'll be that game, I believe. But in the 2 previous matchups in this tournament, the Saints have won 6-0, and while those teams definitely were not on the level of Trinity, it shows how dominant the Saints have been.
15 Love, great serve from Fisher.
So 5-1 Trinity in this matchup, but there's a good chance that this doesn't end up mattering in the grand scheme of things, with Bo Barber and Jake Coolin up 5-1.
I think you can sort of see that in the attitudes of both teams. The Saints a little more relaxed approach here.
Yeah. If this was 3-3, it'd definitely be being played differently. But that's why Brendan Ingle taking that matchup over Damian Sincillio in singles was so huge.
It gives the Saints a lot of cushion, or particularly, especially with the Bo Barber score and Jake Coolin score being the way it is right now. Calls that out, 15-30.
Yeah, because if it had been 3-3 going into doubles, I think Trinity would have been the slight favorites. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd say that the odds the Trinity takes 2 out of 3 will be likely.
Yeah.
But right, Saints ended up taking care of business.
Yeah, so that's why Ingle winning that was so huge.
That was definitely big time performance from the senior. What a shot. What a sequence from Brendan Ingle right there as the Saints inch closer to going out. But in this double so far, Saints have had some pretty good positions, Edison, where they have a lead and they just haven't been able to close out. And the Sincillio brothers get back in it and have taken games. And we've seen that at least happen for 1 or 2 games so far in this doubles matchup. And another great shot from Brendan Ingle up front. The no-look lay is clicking right now.
Yeah, more cheers coming in from that.
as the Saints take a game.
7-1 for Barber and Coolin. Just inching ever closer to be crowned as state champions. These two duos will take a break, and so will we.
And welcome back as we head to game 8 right now with a 5-2 lead for the Titans. Fault 1 from Damian Sincillio. And double fault, 15 Love. And 15 all. Big time spike from Roman Sincillio, who's been putting quite the performance on all day, really. And doubles has been, I think, even better than singles right now for him. He's just been dominating. Feel like it's almost he's playing both by himself at times. Just how good he's been, and that's not to discredit Damian Sincillio at all. It's just to simply say just how good Roman Sincillio's been today.
Yeah. Some more news from that third doubles matchup. Trinity has taken a game, but still 7-2 for Barber and Coolin.
Into the net. Saints take that one 30-15.
Caldwell Burke both surrender back-to-back games, so 3-2 there. But
That's big.
things are looking good for the Saints with their 7-2 lead in the third matchup.
As what a shot right there from Fisher. 40-15 as Saints look to take back-to-back games here against the Sincillio brothers. You know, the closer this makes it, in case the 7-2 lead goes haywire, if you will, like, the closer this is, the better.
Yeah. But things are looking good for the Saints, having leads in 2 out of the 3.
Costly mistake from Fisher, and that keeps the Sincillios alive right now.
Yeah, he missed a gimme.
That could have been the game right there. Great shot from Damian Sincillio. Well out, fault 1. Double fault here would give the Saints the win, so he's got to be careful with this, or at least in this game. I'm not sure if did that land? I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure. I think it did, but no, it did. That ties things up at deuce. Saints had a big cushion, and once again it's faded. Wait, no, hang on. That is out, and I believe that's going to do it. Saints take back-to-back games.
Yeah, that's big for them.
I believe. This is a lot of commotion and chaos here on the verdict of that shot. Again, not having tournament officials here or like a bunch regulating each game makes things difficult at times, especially in a shot like that. It's a bang-bang call, I believe. At least it looked like from my angle. And 15 love. Saints on a roll now. Fisher and Ingle playing their hearts out here, taking back-to-back games, looking to take one more and go on a three-peat right now.
Yeah, Coolin and Barber have surrendered back-to-back matches, so 7-3 now.
Well, Caldwell Burke up 3-2, right? So that's got to
Yeah.
be comfortable. Ingle and Fisher climbing back in this, so. Fault from Ingle. 15 love right now, Saints. And a little bit, you can see the tiredness right now from Ingle right there as a massive 15. Well out of bounds from Roman Sincillio. As I believe it's 30-15 Saints. Fault from Ingle, 30-15. And 30 all. Barely missed from Ingle, going right for the corner. Again, Titans continue to target Ingle. Great shot from Fisher, 40-30.
Had Sincillio twirling around.
Didn't think he would get to that, and he did. And Saints inch closer to making this 4-5 and taking 3 games in a row.
Burke and Caldwell up 5-2.
And we're tied at deuce. Great shot right there from Roman Sincillio. He's done that a couple times right now. Put it right between both of them, and they just can't get there on that return. And advantage Sincillio as Ingle clearly tired. And one more shot here would expand the lead to 6-5 for the Sincillios. Fault. And back to deuce. Burke and Caldwell widen the lead to 5-2 for those tuning in. And
believe that was in.
That was in, and just like that, advantage Ingle Fisher. Saints continue to fight here to take 3 in a row in this doubles matchup.
The third doubles match. Saints have surrendered 3 points in a row, 7-4 now.
And that is a potential problem. Luckily, Burke and Caldwell taking
Yeah.
care of business on their side. Double fault and back to deuce. And advantage Saints. Great shot from Evan Fisher. Actually, no, I think that was it. Saints had the advantage. That wasn't a double fault, as it is now 4-5, I believe. 4-5. If we had to game 10, Saints inching within 1 game as the Barber Coolin lead shrinks, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Game 10 of doubles. Ingle and Fisher narrowed the gap here, winning 3 straight games as they continue to hope to expand on that momentum and add a 4th one to tie things up. Roman Sincillio will serve. And 15 love. Well, that's an ace from Roman Sincillio. Barely out, fault 1. And a beautiful serve from Sincillio puts puts Ingle on his heels as it's 30 love. Yeah, odds of taking game when Roman Sincillio is serving is very low. that is not the combination. Saints want to either have their own serve or have Damien serve, but when Roman's serving, it's not a good situation to be in.
I believe that's a fault.
It is 30 love right now. Titans. And make it 30-15. Excellent shot from Ingle up front. As Blake and Sterling Burke continue to play excellently together, it was probably most likely the Saints to lose, and they're playing out of their minds. (40-15). Ingle can't return it. And game 10 might be over pretty quickly. And the Saints' momentum could be halted. And that's a fault. And that should be the game.
Yeah, 6-5, 6-4 Trinity now.
But you're okay. You should be okay with that if you're the Saints.
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
Not expected to win when Roman is serving. That's not
Yeah.
one that. I mean, you'd obviously be more than capable of happening, but it's not when. It's probably the lowest probability odds of us taking a game is when Roman is serving.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Much better odds when Damien is serving. Or, of course, we are serving.
(9-4) for Barber and Coolin. 1 game away from the Saints being crowned state champions. And things are looking great for them.
No, yeah, just minutes away, you could argue.
Yeah, I doubt that this lasts for much longer.
But you never know. Certainly crazier things have happened.
Yeah, but I would imagine that before the next break, the Saints will have clinched it.
Fault 1 from Fisher. I believe that's a double fault on the Saints right there. Down 15 love. Of course, this game seeming not to matter, especially with both Burke and Caldwell. Caldwell and Barber both taking care. Barber, Coolin, and Caldwell. Burke both taking care of business.
Loud cheers erupting. Not sure what happened.
Out on the Saints, 30 love, I believe. But I bet you it means we're inching closer to a.
I would have to imagine it means Caldwell and.
Good serve, Saints stay alive. I believe it's 40-15. Fault 1. What's the double fault?
Burke and Caldwell up 6-3. And combining that with Coolin and Barber being up 6-4, things looking very good for St. Christopher's.
And there's one, Saints stay alive. Errant shot from Roman Sincillio. And that might have done it. I'm not 100% sure. That is going to do it.
St. Christopher's.
Your state champs.
Yeah.
Yet again.
Great showing from them all year, and very sweet for them to finish it off as state champions. We thank you all for watching all year. This will be the final athletic event for any St. Christopher's team. We thank all of you who have tuned in all year. And yeah, that will do it. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks again. And what a great year. Congratulations to varsity tennis.